fight's not over.
Stop the fight!
People.
Everybody, I come here for everybody. Kill everybody. I'm the champ. I'm the king. Kill everybody. Ah!
All right, guys, welcome back to Broke Bets. Coming here with our best bets for Son versus Simone. We got Carson on the ones and twos.
Yes, sir.
All right, bud. Coming in, we got 5.25 units. Got some bets here. Five bets. Not as confident in a normal week because the way this card's going down, but let's just get right into it. First bet, Fernando Padilla, taking him over Julian Erosa. If you guys have watched Julian Erosa, you know this guy's a brawler, and you know when he's in fights, he's just going to get clocked, hit a lot, and you know it's whether he can take that punishment. Now he's got good submission skills and good parts to his game, but Padilla's also has a good ground game, and he can submit. He's live to submit Erosa. It's kind of unlikely to happen, but it could. And I just think Padilla's boxing looks a lot better. He's gonna, I think be able to actually roll a lot more punches, and then Erosa's gonna be sitting out there getting hit by uppercuts and knees up the middle. I think he's just got a lot more tools in this fight. I know he's taking 2 years off, but for a young fighter, that's never a bad thing. I don't really think that's too much of a bad thing. He's growing into his body still, and I think he's going to look good in this fight and find a finish. Next bet, taking Charles Johnson over Cody Durden. This line came down to such a perfect number. I got to take it. Charles Johnson is a bit of a slow starter, and Cody Durden's more of a fast starter. So I see this fight starting off really good for Cody Durden. It's going to look like Cody Durden's getting his wrestling going in round one, but then Durden will slow down, and he has with multiple opponents before, Iori Quinlan, Chris Gutierrez, and even his Carlos Mata fight, he started to slow down and needed the takedowns to stay alive. Well, Durden just relies on his takedowns too much, and Charles Johnson has good takedown defense. He got taken down by Muhammad Mcghee a lot, but Muhammad Mcghee also just held him on the fence, and I think Makaev's got a better gas tank. So Charles Johnson here fends off the takedowns early, gets Cody Durden a little heavy, a little tired, and then wins rounds 2 and 3 with a possibility of a finish in the third. And I do like a third, a drop for a third round finish for a bet. I think that's a pretty good small bet for someone to make. Moving down to the parlays. Taking Vieira and Borralho together. Now Vieira, I don't think Cody Brundage can hold up to Vieira's game. A lot of people think that Vieira doesn't have good striking and he's a gasser. Well, he definitely can be a gasser because of his high grappling, going for the submission style. He's also got pretty good striking. Rewatch that Chris Curtis fight. He's diving for takedowns, but he's also got a really good jab and right hand. And a guy like Cody Brundage, he's not that good at taking damage. And if he gets these punches coming his way, I could see, honestly, a knockout for Vieira. And also, obviously, the submission ability. He might not get all those takedowns, but if he does get one, it just very well could be over right there. And then Borralho, he's a big middleweight for one, and he's getting the takedowns in all of these fights so far in the UFC, and that's a really good sign. Now, Oleksiejczuk, a lot of experience, fought light heavyweights, some bigger guys who can take him down. But overall, I think the technique that Borralho brings to his grappling is going to be really hard for Oleksiejczuk to defend. And I think he can actually handle himself on the feet too, Borralho. Oleksiejczuk just beat Cody Brundage, like we said, not very durable. And then he also beat Sam Alvey, who's on the huge skid. So it's going to make you look better than what I think you actually maybe are coming into this fight. But I do like both those two to win. What do you think of these two?
Yeah, those, I think, they're the favorites for the reason. I think a lot of people are playing this or something similar to it. Definitely having Borralho. I've been seeing that a lot. Just think he'll be able to find the takedown and either win a decision or find a submission.
Right. Going into prop bets, starting it off, you got this one.
Yes, Josh Quinlan by KO or by finish. I think it's minus 110. I think it's close to plus 110 for the KO. He could find a maybe club and sub, but most likely we'll find the finish here. I think he's finished every single one of his fights, and Trey Waters has been finished before, and he's coming in on very short notice, and he fought like last week. So I think that weight cut might affect him again here.
Right. I think the just fighting recently, and not to mention losing a large part of that fight versus Jalen Fuller until that knockout. Now, it was definitely a good knockout, but Josh Quinlan been caught for steroids. I think he might still be on the sauce. I'm going to trust that too, that he steps in there and proceeds to be violent. I mean, his last two fights ended pretty badly. His Contender Series 1, it was just like the dude went down instantly, and Jason Witt got flatlined. So, and we talked about how, in our breakdown, how big Trey Waters is, and when you're making a cut like that, especially, you know, what you were saying too with 2 fights in a row, you gotta make that cut twice, and then he probably is eating cake and donuts and all this shit right after his win, so, like, who knows how exactly he's gonna be feeling for this fight. But
yeah, he's got 5 inches of height on Quinlan, but that chin can be right there for those hooks.
Right. We talked about that before. It's like,
yeah.
You get that low base. I mean, I just rewatched, I'm watching film from the next card, and, you know, Topuria, when he was hitting Bryce Mitchell, you know, it's because Topuria had such a low base, and those overhands land right on the chin of Bryce can really hurt him. So I think Quinlan can possess that ability as well. Final play, parlay here to end it off. We took Cody Durden and Charles Johnson go over 1.5 with the Vieira fight going under 2.5. I think that this is a good play. I mean, we both think this, like these, both these legs. I think that Charles Johnson's such a slow starter that Durden can get round 1, and Durden survived some punishment. You know, he's got finished by Jimmy Flick and Mikhaev, but he actually survived punishment to Iori Q Lang and some big punches, and I think that he can survive over 1.5 rounds here. And then, of course, Vieira, a proven finisher, and then Brundage, a proven person who gets finished. So, what do you think there?
Yeah, I mean, he's really kill or be killed, except for the Maximo fight. I think that's his only one where he's not been finished or gotten finished.
Right,
and then for Vieira, I think his last fight against Curtis has been his only one where they're not getting finished either way.
Right, he took Dustin Stoltzfus, I believe, to the 3rd round and kind of had like a wonky fight there, but yeah, overall, I think this card's somewhat hard to bet on. I mean, we have a typical rule that try not to bet on, you know, heavyweights or UFC short notice fights and stuff like that, but it's, you got to mix it up with these. That
only 11 fights this week, so.
Well, yeah, there's that new fight that's been announced, Marcus Mcghee versus Journey Newsom. I'm picking Marcus Mcghee. I know some people probably are just sticking with Journey, but this fight's at 140 pounds now. I know Mcgee's on short notice, but these guys typically all stay in decent shape. And the Journey Newsom used to be a 125er, and I think that a weight at 140 pounds, Marcus Mcghee has like 3 inches of height and like 3 inches of reach as well. So that's going to be a tough fight for him. I like Marcus Mcghee to actually, as an underdog, win that fight. And he could be a good bet, but I'm not going to bet on a short notice guy last second. And if you got Yadong, I think that's a good one as well. We're just going to stay away from the main event for this one. Watch it for entertainment. Anything else you had your eyes on?
I mean, not really. Maybe Edgar by finish, but that's probably the only other one that's crossed my mind here.
Yeah, just hoping for not the same repeat of Blades versus Pavlovich. But, you know, we'll get back to the win streak. We got our picks coming out tomorrow for UFC 288, the Henry Cejudo, Aljamain Sterling card. Anything else you got?
I enjoy the fights this week. enjoy the fights this week.
Yes, sir. Pull off my... There we go. Everyone see the bets, maybe on one pick. But yeah, other than that, peace.
Peace.
I know. It doesn't matter from the trenches. I'm built like this. The aunt down to me said I couldn't do it. The aunt said I couldn't